Sup, nerds? I'm Aaron, one of your hosts of ClassHorrorCast, joined by my lovely co-host, Thomas. Not the reptilian,
Don't call me that.
Thomas.
No,
Don't like it?
it's Tomas. No. I've always got that right. Like Thomas the tank engine was a
Oh,
big
no.
thing, and I hate that. Everyone tried to or Thomas or Thom or whatever because it depends how you spell it. But yes, welcome back, everybody. This will, I guess, specifically be for YouTube. So everybody out there that's watching, hello. I hope you hit the subscribe, like, and comment and support the show. But I guess essentially on the tail end of our Dead Silence, more or less kind of deep dive into the film, where we mentioned that there is an alternate opening and an alternate ending, right?
Yeah, and some deleted scenes as well. I actually haven't looked at the deleted scenes, so I don't know
Yeah.
specifically what's in any of them. I have, I think, seen the opening and ending before. I think they might be included on like the unrated version because there's like the
Yeah.
theatrical and then you have the unrated. So I'm assuming that's what these are from.
Yeah, and if you have not yet checked out the Dead Silence episode, make sure to go check that out and subscribe and support Class Horrorcast on wherever you find your podcast. It's an early morning in Canada, so to speak. Well, that's crazy. It's not early anymore, but it was.
It's funny when we were supposed to record this like quite early, so we'd have like lots of time, and then in typical Tom and Aaron fashion, it is
Yes.
now 5 p.m. in Ireland.
Yeah, and it's noon in Canada, and I got up at like 9:30, like barely opening my eyes, be like, "Oh, I gotta get up and do this." And then it's like, and I microdose, and now we're here, and and for all the fans out there that are seeing this, we have some stuff coming on my side of the world with Strange Brew Podcast. We're gonna be recording right after this, and it is about a cannibal puppeteer, or at least he wanted to be a cannibal. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah, so as soon as you finish this short little, I don't even want to call this an episode, video, whatever,
Yeah,
uh, go straight over, check the link will be down below for the podcast that we do
yeah,
on
the
Tom's side.
full episode.
Yeah, so I guess
Definitely
we'll
check
jump
that out.
in straight away
Yeah,
with the alternate opening here and see what you think. You have no prior knowledge of
no,
these, right? Okay, so
no.
this will be
So I'm not
interesting.
gonna say anything during it. I think we should just watch it, and then we'll give our thoughts on each kind of scene. Might be a good idea.
Sure. Okay, let's go for it then. So we're gonna start with the alternate open.
Okay.
It's the storm. It's just the storm. I'm right here. It'll all be over in the morning.
I can't sleep.
Yes, you can. I know you can.
I can't sleep unless you tell me a story.
You want a story?
Yeah, a scary story.
I see. I don't know about that. You might have nightmares and wake up screaming.
No, I won't. I swear I won't.
Well, I hope not. Because screaming is the last thing you'd ever want to do.
Why?
Because Mary Shaw might hear you.
Who's Mary Shaw?
What? You've never heard of Mary Shaw? You've never heard the story? Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children. Only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, be sure you never, ever scream.
What if I do?
Well, don't.
But what if I do?
Well, if you ever see her, if ever she finds you, remember this. There's only one thing that can save you.
What's that, Mother?
Silence.
I feel like it's kind of cool. Like I do like the whole urban, like I said during the episode, the whole idea of like kind of it's like an urban legend deal,
Yeah.
right? And obviously that was just an alternate opening scene, but they probably would have added music in the background, I'm sure, because it's probably just the cut of whatever they had. I'm sure there might have been creepy music playing. I'm sure, but like I feel like if they were going to do that scene, they could have had that at the very beginning of the film, and then when she blows out the candle, then actually start the film and have like the credit scene with like opening to like in their home or whatever where they get the doll for the first time. Like, I feel like it'd have to be like no credits or anything, like the very first scene, and then it gets brought into the film with the
Yeah, because
the music going.
surely to God, they weren't gonna remove that stuff and replace it with that instead. I would have only
Yeah,
like used that as like an additional little scene. I definitely wouldn't have
100%.
gotten rid of anything that's already there to replace it with that.
It does kind of bring in the whole feel of who Mary Shaw is, and maybe they either didn't want the audience to know right away and have it more of like a mystery where you start to learn about Mary Shaw and who she is and how he kind of like talks about the poem later on. I do think if they were going to do it, it'd have to be in the beginning of the film and then lead into that scene where it's like talking about Ventra and Lequi or whatever, and then ventriloquist, and it's the speaking from the stomach, and you're talking through the like talking to the dead or whatever.
Yeah, it's a in a way, I guess it's a cool idea, and I think it's probably the intention was like what you said,
Yeah,
to expand maybe the lore or like the feel of like Mary Shaw being something that like we should all know right at the
yeah,
start
yeah,
of the
yeah.
movie. You know, you should be kind of second guessing, like, wait, do I have I heard this urban legend before? Is this like a real thing?
Yeah, and this is why I said on the and when we like for everybody definitely go check out the whole episode. But like when I said like it's all like the urban legend lore, and I'm surprised they didn't promote this more because like when we were kids we used to like joke about the Candyman, and we thought it was not maybe necessarily real, but we'd joke with each other and be like Candyman in the mirror, and I feel like if they promoted this better, especially using Billy the doll and stuff like that. That I feel like it could have done better because there's so many things that you could have used, especially nowadays if this came out, like have Billy the doll somewhere in a mall, or something like that, and then have people
Yeah.
come up and him talking to them, like great, because you could use that on TikTok and all other like viral kind of video kind of things.
That was my instant thought was like the amount of like virality you could surround a movie like that
100%.
nowadays with things like TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram and all that shit. Okay, so let's should we go for just the random deleted scenes next, or should we go uh the ending
Let's go with the random deleted scenes. I feel like that's a good idea, and then we'll end it on the
on the
alternative
thing?
ending.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that then. So let's go.
Tin Man, that oil can. Oh, weird. There's what's his name?
Isn't that dude that went missing? No.
Hey, boss. It's been a while. Yep, it has.
He's always a background character in horror movies, though.
Yep. Patrolling.
Yeah, it's definitely that same guy.
Keeping them safe.
There's an episode in that there. I think.
Why?
Well, didn't that dude go missing?
That actual guy? Yeah. That actor?
Maybe it's not him. I'm not sure.
Open the damn gates, boss. Maybe you
Oh, they cut all of his scenes.
Jamie, when you've had a chance to cool off. Just open the gates. She's right, you know. She changed him.
Hmm.
How would you know? Huh? And that bastard's never even let you step foot in the house. Because of God he is. In the beginning, it was the same old screaming and yelling. And he even put her in the hospital one time. But after that...
Oh, because it's showing more of the abuse that we don't know about, really. Is that about buying silence or something?
Leave it for a second. Just thought you should know, that's all. Hey, do yourself a favor, boss. Go into the house one night.
Also, apologies to everybody. I mixed up the actors. That dude is not missing. He's still alive and well.
Okay. But he's off of tons of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, he's been in like he has 220 something credits. He's also a Canadian.
Oh, that's cool. He kind of looks like a child molester, though.
100%. Unfortunately, apologies.
It's great. They cut all of his scenes though. It's like creepier that there's no like background music, like tick tock. Oh. He's like, let me get a closer look.
Let me just make sure that you're actually dead.
Yeah, I would never get that close to a corpse that looked like that. Or any corpse. I was gonna make a necrophilia joke, and I was like, no, that's not appropriate. Is that it? Oh, weird. I feel like it's literally all the scenes of that guy. That they, well, at least I'm sure there's maybe others. But at least the idea of like it's sad that like all the deleted scenes are of that actor like that were cut, and it only would have added on like a 5-minute difference of runtime, really.
Yeah, there was
You know,
like I
five,
think that
six
was like
minutes.
3.5 minutes or something.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't know why they decided to cut that. Like in all retrospect, maybe it's just I don't know. It's always based on editing, right? And what makes it and how you can have a and we've done this and talked about this before is like you can have a great solid film, and then the way it's filmed is pretty good, and like and then it's based on how it's edited. So if you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing when it comes to editing or wants to edit it in their own way to tell it, it can change the entire story of a film. They filmed all these other things and it ties in exactly how they had it in the script sometimes. Not all the time, but this does happen. And then the editor comes in and they're like, well, we need to get it down to a runtime of this and we need to cut this so we can get this rating. And then you cut all these things and then the movie doesn't make sense. And there's missing time, missing character. Like they've done this before for sure.
Yeah, like I don't feel like any of those scenes there would have necessarily added anything, but I
No,
also
no,
don't feel like it would have taken away too much either. But again,
no.
it could have literally been just down to the
We don't want to pay that guy.
yeah, or like the ratings board or something being like, look,
Yeah.
the runtime is a little bit too long. You need to shave off like 5 or 10 minutes, and they probably just looked
100%.
at that and went, you know what, these scenes are quite weak. Let's just get rid of him altogether.
I know. 100%. All right, let's bring in the alternate ending.
Okay,
I'm curious
so
about
let's
this.
go for the ending. This is the one I think that gets talked about the most out of all the
Okay.
deleted stuff. Now, again, when I say the most, like it's not like everybody talks about it or anything, but I feel like out of any of the deleted or removed scenes, this one
I
probably
hate
gets
Billy the
talked about
Doll.
more.
I hate Billy
hate
the Doll.
him and I love
I
him as
want
well.
one.
Same.
I would love to have him in the background just sitting there. And it's always, I don't know, even Goosebumps, all that stuff. Something about a ventriloquist dummy. I would like to have one, but even I want the exact same one. Like the ones I found online and looked at, they look like him, but he's like it's like they make him white with like
Yeah.
cracks and it doesn't
He kind of
look
looks like fucking
as
Pee Wee.
yeah, I'm like, come on,
I don't want him to look like Pee Wee.
R.I.P. R.I.P. man.
I nearly made a massive boo boo there. I'm
Okay,
just gonna
hopefully
say no
not.
more. Let's just start this.
Okay. Man, the realization that he's a dummy is frightening to me. And it's a turn a human being into like an actual like doll.
How fucking gross is that?
I know.
We both know the pain that comes with burying a wife. Jamie!
And they actually show more of her doing
Delicious too.
like the ventriloquist in her throat, like ventriloquy. Ew, yeah.
Hello, Jamie.
Oh yeah, she's like feeding him the food or
I
whatever.
don't know what to say, except that I'm sorry for your loss.
I've heard Lisa's funeral is in Raven's Fair. I hope you'll come see me. It's important during times like these to be with family.
Oh, and his body in the background slumped over.
You silly
Scared.
child. There is no more Ella.
In the beginning, it was the same old screaming and yelling. You do what I say. Even put her in hospital one time.
Oh, because then they can't have this scene without the guy telling the story. I get chills a little. Because Mary Shaw would have I can use you as a conduit. Freaky looking doll, man.
But after that, nothing. Silence. What's going on?
You were right, Jamie.
I live inside my doll.
Get me out of here! No, get me out of here!
I gave you a chance.
All
So
you had
weird.
to do was be a
Good boy.
I know.
But you couldn't.
It doesn't matter. We can still be a happy family.
Oh, I get what she's doing.
Smile, Jamie.
Jamie.
Oh, I was like, what's in that chick's mouth? I was like, it's a green screen thing.
Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, be sure you never, ever scream.
What happens if I do?
Don't.
But what if I do?
Well, if you see her, if she finds you, remember this. There's only one thing that can save you.
What the fuck?
What's that, Mother?
Silence.
Pretty
So-
freaky.
Yeah, so like I guess that opening, that little piece at the start would make more
Yeah.
sense if it was
And they
bookended
would tie
with
it
that.
in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I need to see with the music and like it actually finished to make a better judgment. But personally, I'd probably say that I like the way that they ended it on the theatrical, like the actual film. Like that would have tied in the beginning if they actually chose to do that. And it is freaky. Like the idea of turning in someone into a puppet and then they do the death portrait.
The
Which
way
they
he
used
was
to do all
sitting
the
at the end
I know.
is just like fucking
Yeah,
weird looking.
because he's supposed to look like a weird, little boy doll. Is just very strange, and it's crazy because there's me and Billy talked about it on Strange Brew podcast when we did our episode about living with the dead. But I feel like it might be worth recovering at some point. But there is a guy, I can't remember his name, but he turned his lover into a doll. So he could keep her forever. I think after she died, I can't remember the full story now, but it's something around the similar idea of this. And I feel like me and you could cover it pretty well at some point. But it's freaky, the idea of turning because once you see somebody dead, their soul leaves their body. Like you can tell they're just not there anymore.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
just that
in essence.
husk.
Yeah, it's like this meat suit, and then to turn it into something that still you're trying to keep alive is creepy. And the idea when you see dead bodies, when they went to the mortician and they've tried to doll them up and they make them look like a doll, they put makeup on them to bring it color back to their skin because they've obviously, and it's just a creepy it's just creepy and it's unsettling, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't necessarily mind that ending so much, but I'm
Yeah.
probably along the lines of you where I just prefer the way they've done
Well,
it
this
already.
when it's like the dun 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 dun, like the music's going at the ending of the theatrical cut, and it ties everything together. Like I feel like it could have been cool to see that alternative ending, but some about like the way they ended with the music and how you kind of it's left up more to imagination, and then they show the portraits on the wall. I thought was kind of a little more cohesive. But like we said on the, everyone go check out the full episode. But there was definitely stuff that they took out that could have been added to, um, I don't know, instill the lore and the urban
Yeah,
legend kind of
yeah,
part of it. But
yeah.
still, in my opinion, great film.
Oh, 100%. And I don't really feel like any of those things that we just watched would have added that much, really. So I think I'm kind of
No,
happy with the way it all turned out, to a degree.
yeah,
But yeah, thanks
hundred
everybody. If you
percent.
got to the end of this video, make sure to check out the description for links to full episodes, past episodes, stuff like that. Support Class Horrorcast and obviously Strange Brew podcast as well. And yeah, you're
Yes,
going to see more and more of this stuff, going into the new year. So yeah, just make sure and keep an eye out.
and the only thing that can save you is silence.
Bye, nerds.